Welcome to the Dojo Talk Podcast. Please remove them shoes before entry.
The master is here, and you still have not taken off your shoes.
Yeah. Living every day to define man's mission. Look into the sky for divine transmission. Deaf man's vision makes the blind man listen. Eyes on the prize, this is blind ambition. Thank you.
Yo. What's going on, people? Welcome to another episode of the Dojo Talk Podcast. I am your host, Serial Sensei, and I'm recording my second podcast of the day. So by the time you guys hear this, know that there are two podcasts on the way. I got this one, and then I will definitely be dropping the podcast I recorded with my co-host, the Anti-Cool, on the Brandon Moreno and Sergio Pettis fight that happened last night. So that'll be dropping this week. And yeah, it's been a productive day so far. I got that recorded. I got this recorded. Yeah, I'm working, trying to keep myself busy. Today, got some music on deck. I can't say three albums. Technically, two of these, I believe, would fall under the EP category, and then one is an actual album. But before I get to the music, I just want to throw something out there. So I can't say finally. The other day, randomly, for whatever reason, like Deathnote, the anime, for people who don't know, like randomly popped in my head. And I was like, oh man, the live action Netflix version comes out this month. I want to say like 25th, 26th, something like that, sometime later this month. And I was like, let me just Google it just to look it up, see when it's coming out. So I go to Google it and I find the IMDb page, and the first thing that pops out to me, not even that it comes out on like 25th. I didn't even care about the date at this point. But I noticed that they changed Light's name from Light Yagami to Light Turner. And I was just, why? Just like, why are we doing this? I was already sketchy about watching this movie. And literally, the only reason I might watch this Death Note that Netflix is going to do, only because Willem Dafoe as Ryuk, I think, is going to be awesome. And in the second trailer I saw, looked awesome. Like, I feel like Willem Dafoe, like, he looks like a Shibigami. So I feel like that'll work out. Like, I think he's going to be a great part of that movie. But everything else in that trailer, man, just bothers me. Just the guy they got playing Light doesn't, well, obviously he doesn't look like Light. They're completely different races. Light was definitely Asian in the anime. He's clearly Caucasian in the live action. Race controversy aside, it's not even just that bothers me. It's like he doesn't even feel like Light. Like, he doesn't have any of Light's like mannerisms or personality. Like, in the anime, Light was, aside from being like really smart, he was very well mannered, very well tempered for the most part, really easygoing, kind of like your model, like model well-to-do citizen. At least that was the front that he put up. And this dude in the trailer, man, he's like some emo high school kid. Like, it's not believable. And then the trailer got worse when I saw the guy, I can't even remember the gentleman's name, playing L, and I saw him. I was like, what is this? Like, what are we doing here? The guy playing L, I wasn't feeling the acting that I saw in the trailer. It didn't. It wasn't convincing, man. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it, man. And it hurts because I feel like if this was executed the way it should be, like this could be a big thing, man. Like, Death Note is Death Note is always one of those shows that I would recommend for people who don't watch anime, because I feel like they would enjoy it. Like I feel like it has that big of appeal because the story is so good, and like I love Death Note because it doesn't fall to a lot of stereotypical anime tropes. Like, it's a lot more serious in tone, and it's not just, it's more grown, it's more real, it's, but I don't know, man. Like, this really could have been something big if they would just executed it right. But I mean, I know it hasn't come out yet, but we've seen this story play out 30 million times, man. We know what happens when these anime movies get live releases. I mean, I sat through Ghost in the Shell. I don't even know if I talked about that on this podcast, but I guess just keep it on topic. I read a little more. That movie, which I finally saw months after it came out, what was so bad about that movie is that even if you don't attach it to the anime and you just watch it as like a standalone movie, it's still terrible. It was really boring. Like, it was terribly boring. Like 20-30 minutes into that movie, I didn't know what I was watching anymore. Like, I didn't understand what, I don't know, it was missing some. Like, they did little things right here and there. Like, you could tell some shots, like some camera angles, they directly lifted from the original movie. So like, that was dope. And then some of the like the scenes where she would dive into like the computer, I'm kind of blacking out, but when she would dive into like the computer world, like I thought those moments were cool because they did that in the anime and they always made it look interesting. So like, that was kind of cool. But like, other than that, and like the little opening scene with shooting, everything else was just kind of like, what is this? It was like, you got this whole side crew that she's with, and we only see Bato, and he wasn't really all that great in the movie, but it was a foundation there, and but nothing else worked, man. The only person that I liked in the movie was the old guy whose name is escaping me right now, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, he was the only person who, like, I had no problems with in the movie. He was casted perfectly. He probably had my favorite moment in the film when they tried to jump him in the parking lot and he wasn't having any of that action. He shut them down real quick. But yeah, everything else, man, and the Ghost in the Shell, that movie was terrible. It was terribly boring. It was really dry. So if you haven't seen Ghost in the Shell yet, don't do it. Just don't. Watch the anime if you haven't seen that. Even watch Ghost in the Shell Arise, the prequel. Watch everything else related to Ghost in the Shell minus the movie. The movie's it's terrible, man. It's just it's not cool, man. But yeah, that and between Ghost in the Shell and Death Note, I think we should just put a halt on anime movies being made into live action, at least in America. If Japan wants to do it, cool. Let them. That's their thing. Let them do it. America, we gotta chill out. We gotta fall back. We're we gotta readjust the game plan, because clearly what we're doing isn't working. I don't understand why we keep making the same mistakes over and over again, making these movies into live action films, not sticking to source material, changing things that just don't need to be changed. It's like if you went over somebody's house and you ate, like, I don't know, any dish, like you ate a dish they made, and like to you that dish was really great, and you're like, man, that was really good, how do you make that? And they give you all the ingredients, and then you go home and you try to make what they made, but then you just skip, steps like 2 through 8, and then you wonder why your food turned out terrible. It's like the reason it turned out terrible is because you didn't follow the blueprint that I laid for you. Same thing they're doing with these animes that turn into live actions. The blueprint is there. Just follow the blueprint. This can't be that hard to do. I digress. I don't know. That trailer just kind of pissed me off when I saw it. It's like, this movie could be something great, and I feel it. I know it hasn't come out, and you got to reserve judgment, blah, blah, blah. Man, that movie's going to suck. It's going to be terrible. I don't need to reserve judgment. We know what's going to happen. The movie's going to be trash. Willem Dafoe will probably be awesome. He was awesome in the trailer. He was the only good part of the trailer. Everything else, trash. Just trash. I might leave the link to the trailer in the description so you guys can see it if you haven't yet. But better or worse, that comes out like 25th, 26th, something like that. So, you know, you guys can check it out if you want. I'm undecided on if I'm gonna look at it or not, but I don't know, man. That just wanted to throw that out there because it kind of pissed me off. But on to brighter things that didn't piss me off, things that made me happy and made me enjoy my day. Cunninlynguists, man, one of my favorite, probably one of my all-time favorite hip hop groups, to be honest, man. These dudes have been just super consistent. I think I might have mentioned them a few times before. I became a fan of them after I heard, I was kind of late on the Cunninlynguists bandwagon. I didn't really start listening to them regularly until I heard the album Dirty Acres, and then I went back to listen to like A Piece of Strange, We'll Rap for Food, so on and so forth. But man, since then, man, I've been a huge fan of these guys, and they're one of the few groups that anytime they drop a project, I'll buy and listen without hearing a single because I know I'm gonna get something good. As far as group releases, they had been on like a bit of a like mini hiatus. They did drop an EP earlier this year. I think it was the Red Rose or the Rose. It's bad because I reviewed that EP and I really enjoyed it, but I can't remember the name. But that EP was fire, man. It was only 3 tracks, and they're back with another 3 tracks. This EP is called the Azura EP. This came out on July 28th, so it was only about a week or two ago. Really, since there's only 3 tracks, I'll just kind of go through each song real quick. But overall, just to give an overview, this EP was dope, man. It was really, really on point. I don't know if I like it better than the Rose EP. I think for me, the Rose EP, I just like the vibe of that one a bit more. But this one is still fire, still packed with social content. No, as always, one of the greatest producers ever. He's going to be, in my book, one of the greatest producers ever when it's all said and done, whenever he decides to retire. Though I don't feel like music people don't retire. I feel like that's not really a thing. But he's the dude's just an amazing producer. And this EP, especially compared to the previous one, this one has a bit more of a somber, like mellow, almost like sad feel to it. But it kind of fits the EP because of some of the topics they talk about. So I guess just to go quick down the line, on the first track, Violet, The Upper Room, a really good, strong start to this EP, and just a line that really stuck out to me: the struggle and the strain, or the guilt that can be built within making gains. Ain't no cheating death, you can't lie to life. Plus everything about you's hiding in these satellites. Other than that one day Adam had it right. Humans are parasites, insatiable appetites. Like, Natty and Deacon, as always, and I stated this in the last review I did of them, very great with words. Very great writers, man. Very descriptive and being able to paint images and pictures of describing, painting a picture to describe the situation that, they're rapping about. And yeah, the opening track for me, at least what I pulled from it, is kind of about the struggle and just kind of like the downfalls of humans as a whole, and just kind of the things that we seem to get wrong over and over again, But it's a very well written, like I said, it's a very kind of mellow, really somber mood of a track, but the beat fits perfectly with the wordplay and just the images that are in the song. I love how Deacon started the second verse. Faith, we treat it like a 4-letter word, while fear, we shout it through the ghettos and burbs. Hear me, my Lord, come settle my nerves. I pray these words bring honors as the heavens observe. And yeah, a lot of this track just kind of seems like I said, man, they're just kind of like looking at the world as a whole, it's like, man, where do we where do we go wrong? Like, things shouldn't be this bad. Like, things shouldn't be this out of control. And I don't know, man, I love how they just, I guess, just to pick out another line, continue from the insatiable appetites line. So where do we go from here, you ask? I think we're all trying to figure that out. One nation under a god kicking us out, because America took and takes the infamous route. As we state from state to state, let's be great again. Let's forget the salient struggle of each alien. We can parade after we honor the graves of native slaves, women, gays, etc., etc. And it's just like, yeah, we'll never. It's so much packed in that one. Like, those are like 4 bars right there, man. Like, we're not gonna be great or reach the greatness that we think we can reach if we don't start respecting and honoring the people that are here, the people that came before us. If we don't start acknowledging our problems in terms of racism, classism, sexism, so on and so forth. But really, just really dope start to the EP, man. It's a really, really good track. Track number 2, which features Triz. I'm not sure who Triz is, but shout outs to him. He did a pretty good job on the hook. Another track that's, like I said, a bit more on the somber, side of things. For me, what I kind of pulled away from this track is it's trying to figure out like where do we get to where we need to get to, and how do we get to where we need to get to, while we're in the process of losing it seems like everything and everyone, and we're losing so much on the journey that it's like, how eventually are we going to get to the place that we need to get to? And like, the track opens up with Natty, victims on the pavement, folks who can change it, all gone, leaving new jacks with nooses to swing with. Like, right out the gate, he's letting you know, like, people are just dying like left and right, and a lot of those people were probably very important people who could have helped us advance, but now, for one reason or another, they're no longer here with us. And I love Deacon's part, but I've been told the silver lining is gone. This is where fear talks ears off. Many corporations calculate what a tear costs. Morals break down like they biodegradable. To keep the faith or give it up, it's highly debatable. And it's like, things are going, like, it's getting to the point that it's that bad, where you're at that point where you're starting to lose hope, where it's like, is this fight even worth it anymore? Like, we've lost so much just trying to get to where we need to go. It's like, is the loss that we've, is the loss even worth it? Pretty much. At least that's part of what I'll pull from it. But yeah, man, it's another track about just kind of the world, just kind of being in dark times, and how much we've lost along the way, and things don't really seem like they're getting much better. And I love also on the last verse, can't remember the line exactly, I didn't write it down, but when Deacon mentions a line about children being resilient, but all the people who should be here to teach them are dead or dying, and it's like, your whole future is now in question because these new leaders, or supposed or could be new leaders, have no one to hand them the torch. There's no one to teach them anything. They're led astray at this point. And yeah, it's just another really dope track with really good content. All these tracks, really, just anything Cunninlynguists drops is gonna have great content. But like I said, though, it's a really sombering listen, though. But it's still great music. But it's real. I hate to say the term, but like reality rap. Like, it's a real gut check, so to speak. And the last track, Anyway the Wind Blows, which we get a nice verse from No at the end, which I appreciated it. But this is a really dope really dope concept track. First verse is kind of about this girl who's going on to, she gets a call from her cousin, and they're going to go on a video shoot. And, they're kind of excited because the apparently they think the rapper is about to blow. He's going to be famous, blah, blah, blah. So, they'll be in the video. That's a good look for them. But they get to the video shoot. The guy's kind of shady. And he's making inappropriate remarks and gestures. So they got to dip out so they don't get paid. And then the second verse is kind of the girl, now she's back at her house. And she's, about to take a bath. And she's thinking about where it all went wrong, and then her cousin calls her again. It's like, I got this other come up, we can own the club, blah 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 blah. They go through all that, and then I love No came in with a perfect closing verse, man. Really great depiction, describing the girl that at this point of the day she's kind of just done with it, and she's just kind of sitting by her bubble bath. He's crying her eyes out because he's realizing her life isn't going the way that she thought it would, or that she hoped it would. And she's kind of at that point she's losing all hope. But he mentioned things like where's the line I really want to find it. It was a line about something about she had reminders to keep her going. I can't remember. But it's a really dope verse nonetheless. She finds reminders to keep her going, and then he mentions by the end of the verse she's ignoring the phone calls from her cousin because she's not trying to hear anything she's talking about, and she's just kind of chilling out. She puts another song on a record player, and she just kind of fades to black, and that's kind of how the song ends. But I guess she just kind of vibes out, just tries to get lost and forget about everything that's going wrong. But really, really dope track. Very great, well-written verse from No. And what closed out, like I said, it's only 3 tracks, but it's really powerful 3-track EP. Definitely a great follow-up to the previous EP they released. And now I'm waiting for an album. You guys have teased enough, man. Everything they release is always of high quality. I've never listened to a Cunninlynguists project and been disappointed. So, you got the previous EP, you got this Azura EP. I'm ready for the album, man. I know it's got to be coming. Because these EPs drop way too close. These EPs drop way too close together for there not to be an album somewhere around the corner. But, yeah, man, if you guys have never listened to Cunninlynguists, man, this is a really dope group, man. Natty, Deacon the Villain, and No. It's a really awesome trio, man. And also put out great solo works by themselves as well. So their catalog runs deep. So if you've never given them a listen, man, if you listen to this, like I said, it's 3 tracks, real easy to get to if you want something with content. It's kind of a heavy listen. I wouldn't say this is a good first listen to, but it's still, if you want something with some quality content, rappers who are also just good MCs, great writers, definitely something you should listen to. And like I said, they've shown so much growth since way back when. Listening to Will Rap for Food, or even A Piece of Strange, and then listening to this EP, or even Strange Journey Volume 3, their sound is always evolving. No can just capture so many different vibes and tones, man. The dude is a genius on the boards, and Natty and Deacon are just really great MCs, really great writers, and they complement the instrumentals really well. So I was really, really pleased with this EP. Definitely looking forward to any future projects, and hoping there's an album soon in the works, man. I would definitely, I'm definitely waiting for another Cunninlynguists album. I'm never not ready for a Cunninlynguists album. So yeah, man, the Azura EP, I'll post a link in the description to the Bandcamp. You can give it a quick listen. You can buy it, support the music, check out all their other works on the Bandcamp. Really, 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 really dope group, man. Really dope group. Shout out to those guys holding it down. Great Southern hip hop. Got to throw that out there. Great Southern hip hop. On to another album. Technically, this is the only album I'm reviewing, but what do I say, man? I didn't think, not that I thought this album was gonna be bad. But you know, like I went in thinking like, all right, this is gonna be a good listen. This wasn't just a good listen. Like I love this. I abused this album, so I had to step away for a little bit because I was playing this so much. And I was like, I need to review other music, so I have to listen to other stuff. But I could not put this album down. And the album I'm referring to, Sounds of Crenshaw, Volume 1 by Terrace Martin, presents the Pollyseeds. So, quick backstory, I guess. Terrace Martin, instrumentalist, probably mostly known for playing saxophone. Also a producer. He's worked with Kendrick. He's worked with Snoop. A lot of West Coast guys he's worked for. He's put out albums like Velvet Portrait, which made my top of 2016. I was in my top 20. He's got albums like 3 Chords Fold. Dude is crazy talented, man. He can do a little bit of rapping, a little bit of singing. Great producer. All around just great talent. And then you add the Pollyseeds. And this is like an all-star lineup, man. So you got Terrace Martin, Robert Glasper, Kamasi Washington. That's just them 3, all in one group. Now, hopefully you guys know who Glasper and Kamasi Washington are. Guess quick if you don't. Just a quick, both great instrumentalists. Definitely, I would say a part of this like mini jazz revival going on. Really extremely talented dudes. So you add these 2, and then you add Rose Gold, who's been a pretty frequent collaborator with Terrace Martin. She's a vocalist. I want to say she's from Maryland. I think she's from out here. Shout out to her, man. I think she's from the home team. So, but she's a great vocalist. And also we have Kachi, also known as Problem, West Coast MC. I'm not sure if he's a part of the Pollyseeds. I'm gonna guess he is. He was on the lead single, so I'm just gonna throw him in there and say he's a part of a group. But yeah, man, shout outs to him, man. He fits really great with this group. Has a really just great dynamic, and this album is so well produced, man. Great instrumentation on every track. Really good grooves. Some albums more upbeat. You got some more chill. You got Rose Gold with the singing. Problem, or Kachi, I should say. He comes through. He does his thing rapping, but it fits just really well with what they're trying to do, man. Like, it's so much good instrumentation, from pianos to saxophones, and of course you got your kicks, your drums, and your hi-hats. Just everything, man. Everything about this album is so well done. And I'm only gonna mention a few tracks because I probably could go on all day about this album, but I don't want to keep y'all here forever. But man, like, every track on this album is just great. From the Tapestry intro to the Chef Eat Double, the second track. I might end up going through all these. Intentions, which I think that was the lead single. I'm not sure. I know it has a video, so I'm gonna assume that was one of the lead singles from this album. But that's a really dope, a really kind of fun track. It has a real nice bounce to it. Real nice groove, just nice, real nice, feel good beat, feel good instrumentation. And you kind of got Problem. I don't know if I should call him Problem or Chachi, but you got Chachi rapping pretty much a nice little feel good track about him just basically trying to win this girl over. But the thing I love about this album is just like I said, it's such a vibe. It's such a good. It's just a good feel, man. Like, I don't really know how else to describe it, but I feel it when I listen to it, man. It's such a feel good album, and it's so easy to just get lost in. But like I said, Intentions, great single, really good, like, feel good, nice little summer track. Going down the line, Funny How Time Flies. I love how Terrace Martin uses like the I can't say it's auto-tune, because I feel like auto-tune and then like the voice box, I'm pretty sure like those are different. And I want to say he uses a voice box, because auto-tune is really like more of a, I think it's like a pitch inflection, pitch shift kind of thing. Kind of makes you sound better if you don't sound great. But like a voice box, I don't think it just shifts your pitch. It's literally just an effect. So if you can't sing, regular. You can't sing on a voice box. It's not gonna make you, you sound like a robot, but it can't help your pitch any. If you don't have pitches normal, you just voice boxing can help that. I could be wrong. I'm not sure if he used auto. Either way, whatever he uses, I love how he puts it on his vocals. I love the way that he uses it. And I feel like he uses it on his vocals, but I think I've heard it on his saxophone too. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a track on here where that saxophone has like that voice box like effect on it, and it works really good. But Funny How Time Flies, another nice feel good track. Going on to Mama D / Lamert Park. This is definitely like a top 3 track. Strictly just an instrumental track, but my God, man, it's great saxophone by Terrace Martin. Really just laid back tracks, kind of like a saxophone, and you get your drum, your hi-hat, your kick, you got some other instrumentation going on in the background. And I think this was one of the tracks where he put the like auto-tune or voice box vocoder effect like on his saxophone, and it just adds even more to the instrumentation. It's such a feel good, just vibe, head nod track, man. I love how well produced this album was, man. It's very well produced, very well mixed. All the instruments fit. Everything just works. everything is just perfect, man. And then the track You and Me, which features Rose Gold. Quick tidbit about that track. I think this is actually a remake, because he had another song called You and Me. These are like pretty much the same song. I don't even think the words changed. I literally think just the vocalist changed. The original You and Me was on 3/4 fold Pulse, but instead of Rose Gold, it was Preston Harris, who also appears on this album at the very end. But both versions are really great, man. They're both really good. I can't really say. I guess I kind of like this one a little bit better, only because I like Rose Gold really great as a vocalist. She has really kind of like smooth, sultry vocals. I think Preston Harris is more. He gives me a almost like a gospel feel when I hear him. So I guess it would depend on your taste. But either way, both versions of the song are great. But sticking to the Sounds of Crenshaw, this version, Rose Gold, awesome on the vocals, real smooth, has like this really calm delivery, little airy, but it really fits well with the mood of the track. And the song is kind of talking basically about just growing with someone in a relationship and things like that. But awesome, really awesome track. This is honestly probably my favorite. Just between Rose Gold's vocals and just I love the instrumental on this track. It's real calm, it's really smooth, and Rose Gold just fits perfectly over it. This is probably my top song on this album. Up and Away, I'll give that, or Up and Away I should say, a quick mention. I love how like dirty the drums sounded on this track. It was a good switch up from the rest of the album. It stuck out, but in a good way. So I really enjoyed the production on that track. Wake Up, another great track. A really just beautiful. That's the only way to describe it. Beautiful instrumental track. Really nice, just piano backdrop, and then you got Terrace Martin, who I assume is on the saxophone, and it's such a calm, it's one of those tracks that speaks to you, but there's no words. It's just an instrumental. It's I could go on and on, man. It's such a great track, man. Just really good instrumental, like I said. It's really great piano. It's very minimalistic but still effective at the same time. Your Space, which features the vocalist name oh god, I'm probably gonna butcher this. It's Wyann Vaughn. So Vaughn. I apologize if I'm butchering your name, but she is a great vocalist also. I think this is her only appearance on the album, unless she does background vocals somewhere, but either way, it's another favorite of mine on the album. the track is kind of her talking about kind of going through that part of the relationship where it's a bit of static and you guys might have, taken a break and you need some space, but she's kind of like, listen, I can give you some space, but if you stray away for too long, as she says it, she'll end up singing another man's song, quote unquote. So basically it's like, we can take this little break, but don't break too long because I might not be here when you come back. So, but yeah, man, another awesome track on this album. Feelings of the World with Rose Gold and Chachi, another great track of, I want to say this track was kind of about Chachi knowing that he messed up, him kind of messing around with other chicks, but he realizes he made his mistake and he's trying to get back into good graces, so to speak. But yeah, that's another awesome track. And the album ends with Preston Harris, which I think this is his only feature on the album, but a really good closing track. Once again, great use of Terrace Martin using the voice box on his vocals for the hook, which I love. Kind of a track just kind of dedicated to God and how much, despite your shortcomings and downfalls and things like that he still loves you, he'll still look out for you, so on and so forth. And I know some people don't believe in that, whatever. Still a great track, man. Awesome song and just great closer to the album, man. And I could go on and on. Like, this album, just the instrumentation is just flawless. Like, between Terrace Martin, Kamasi Washington, and Robert Glasper, like, you can't go wrong, man. Like, you can't go wrong. Like, you literally can't go wrong. It's such just really just good music, man. From, if you appreciate just instrumentation, you'll like this. If you love vocalists, you'll like this. If you just want something really feel good, something you can play this in the car with your mom. She don't gotta worry about people cursing all the time. I think even the one track that, cause Chachi, I believe Chachi drops like an F-bomb on one of these tracks, but they bleep it out. So like you can play this around your family and it's not a big deal. It's a really well put together, only 13 tracks, but it's just, I could go on and on. It's really well put together. Like I said, great instrumentation, keys and saxophones going on, and it's great, man. That's all I can say. Like like I said, I've been abusing the replay button with this album, and I was floored at how much I actually enjoyed it. Like, I knew I was gonna like it. I didn't think I was gonna love it, and this will definitely be in my top 20. I'm positive this might even make it to the top 10. Like, I played this album that much. By the end of this year, this might be in my top 10, man. I thoroughly enjoyed this album. So if you want something with a jazz soul feel to it, man, look no further. Terrace Martin's a genius. Kamasi Washington's a genius. Glasper's a genius. Rose Gold, everybody's a genius. If you're a part of this album in any way, you're a genius, man. This album it was so good, man. I'm so glad I got a physical copy of this too, man. So I'll definitely leave a link to this in the description. Oh, actually, all these albums I'm reviewing, I think, have Bandcamp pages. So I'll leave links in all of these, man, so you guys can check them out, man. But definitely, man, you want something with a jazz feel, something with some soul to it, definitely give this a listen. So that is Terrace Martin presents the Pollyseeds, and the album is called Sounds of Crenshaw Volume 1, which means I'm hoping a Volume 2 will be dropping. I need that in my life. But yeah, man, awesome album. And the last piece of music that I will be speaking on today comes out in New York. The homie Skyzoo with Peddler Themes EP. I became kind of like Cunninlynguists. I think I got onto the Skyzoo bandwagon a bit late. I remember first hearing about him when The Salvation came out. Sometimes you listen to an artist and the first time you listen, like, it just doesn't connect. And like, because I remember listening to tracks off The Salvation, like, and I thought it was okay, but like, it didn't like hit me. Like, I don't know, it didn't hit me, it didn't connect. But after hearing the Great Debater tape, that's when I became a fan. And the track that made me become a fan, what was that track called? It was the last track on the album. It's called The Definitive Truth, I think. And it actually has a video to it. If I remember that, I'll leave that in the description also. But that was a track of just skyzoo, man. He was just kind of just over a beat. He was just flowing, man. Dude just got in the pocket and he just went in. And I was like, I don't know what I was missing before, but I'm a fan now. So I listened to the Great Debaters. I listened to what's it called, Dreams in the Basement. Music from My Friends, which is a really good album. I think it was either last year or the year before. He did the Easy Truth album with Apollo Brown, which is a really, really good album. He's just one of those artists he's really consistent. I will say, I think a downfall for him, if any, and kind of how I feel about this EP is he is really consistent, but at the same time, like, sometimes I don't feel like he stands out enough. And that's kind of the only thing about this EP for me that was a drawback. But I still wanted to review it because I still think it's a good project. And I think for people who like New York hip hop, that you should be listening to him. Like, if you love New York hip hop, this is a guy you bet he should be on your iPod without question. Dude is an awesome lyricist, really clever with words, and embodies everything I think a person from like the East Coast would want from a New York MC. So I just wanted to give the EP a shout out. Like I said, to be honest, there's not a whole lot I can talk about this EP, only because, like I said, not too much of it stands out. There's not really one thing I can like pinpoint, but it's a solid EP, really good, boom bap sound and production. We got a couple beats from Illmind on here, who did a great job on a few of these tracks. Like, I guess real quick, I'll just run through some of my favorites. Like I said, it's only 8 tracks, so it's a pretty quick listen. For me, the EP kind of picks up towards the second half. It starts off with Short Money, kind of a cool intro. It's a cool intro track. I do like, though, some of the interludes on this album. Specifically, I think it's on the first and the last, where I don't know if it's his mom, but probably like his mom or just a motherly figure in general, speaking about how, she knows where her kid is when he's outside, but she doesn't know at the same time. Like, she knows he's outside, but she doesn't know the kind of trouble she gets in. And basically describing how, like, they do their best to raise him right, but when he's outside doing his thing, he's outside doing his thing. And I just thought it was a good, like, overall narrative. It kind of reminded me of Music from My Friends, of kind of that theme of just how it's like, just kind of just like growing up and the things that influenced him while he was growing up. Almost felt like it was a continuation of Music from My Friends. Like, I kind of got that same vibe from it with some of the things he talked about. Lyrically, you'll get, kind of like street tales, but it's not street tales in the sense like, oh, I robbed this dude, I shot this dude. It's not braggadocious. It's more just him just describing, the things he's seen while he was growing up, things that influenced him, and how, maybe he saw a dude pull up in the Beamer and that made him want to get money, and he went through certain routes to get it, realized some avenues might not be as good as others, and he's giving you the feel of like he's your regular average everyday dude who's trying to do good. Every now and then he might get caught up in something he shouldn't be doing, but it's real honest rap. And like I said, it's not on like that braggadocious like, oh, I sold 30 pounds of dope, so on and so forth. Like, it's kind of like the Nas thing, where like I feel like Nas he rapped about that life, but it was more so from him observing it. Like, I kind of get that vibe from skyzoo. Like, maybe they're in it a little bit, but not like fully into it. A lot of it is just them kind of, peeping game, just kind of giving you a look into what they saw as they were growing up. So, Short Money, that's a cool track. Then it goes on to Bamboo, another kind of cool track. But for me, the EP picks up on track 4 with Finesse Everything. Really dope beat from Illmind, really good boom bap head nodder. Yeah, another just dope track of him just kind of spitting, man. That's a good just New York track, man. Like, if you want to give this album or EP a listen, I'll probably say listen to that track first. Like, if you like that track, you'll probably you'll enjoy what's on the rest of this EP, and it'll give you a good feel for what this EP is about. Yeah, like I said, the whole second half of this EP to me is really solid. From Finesse Everything, then you go to Let It Fly. That's another. I like that track. It's a bit more upbeat, has a bit more of a head nod feel to it. And you get to For Real, which, quick note, I think according to Genius or Rap Genius, that beat was produced by Skyzoo. So shout outs to him. That was a pretty dope beat. Oh, shout outs to the previous track, Let It Fly. That was another beat produced by Illmind. But yeah, For Real, I think was produced by Skyzoo. So shout outs to him on the production tip. That was a pretty solid beat, and probably one of the other standout tracks on here. 9-5 Bad Boy Logo. I like that track. Has he uses samples from like Bad Boy interviews when they're at radio stations, and they're kind of rapping, showing off. It's kind of around that, like, I think it was kind of like that early 2000s or late 90s era when Bad Boy was really at their height, and they had dudes like Mace and all of them running around. So like some of those interviews are chopped up into the song, and Skyzoo makes references to how he wanted the 9-5 Bad Boy logo like on the back of his Letterman jacket, just kind of like how Bad Boy influenced them, how he saw them doing things and he wanted to do what they do so he could get like the success they had. So that's a dope track. And then it closes out with Long Money, which is another track that kind of has an interlude. I think it's towards like the end where his mom is talking about, he's a really good kid. He might have a bit of a tantrum, but he's trying to do the right thing. And it's basically, it's kind of a good track of him just, I feel like that track just kind of embodies the album about, on the money chase and the things that he's seen and he's done on the way to to try to get the money. But it's he's one of those dudes where I feel like the way I'm describing it probably makes it sound kind of simple, but he's definitely one of those guys where he says a lot of clever lines, but like the way he delivers his lines, you won't catch like the slick wordplay or like wittiness or punchlines, because a lot of rappers they put like an emphasis on like the actual punchline. But Skyzoo, if you've never listened to him, he's kind of one of those dudes that he just finds his pocket on the beat and he just kind of flows, man. He just goes, and it's a really great like seamless flow over the tracks, man. Dude glides like like water over the tracks. But like since he doesn't put like heavy emphasis on some of his lines, a lot of the cleverness of the wordplay and the wittiness will kind of just slip by you. But if you pull up the lyrics and you read along while you're listening, you'll catch some subtle references to like movies and things, and just slick wordplay overall. So I would say this album, man, it's just kind of one of those beats and rhymes album, but it has content to it. So if you want something to just kind of you can nod your head to it, you want to hear some good wordplay, like I said, some good, just solid New York hip hop, Peddler themes. It's a good start. It's a nice solid listen. Like I said, it won't blow you away. It's probably not a good entry point for someone who never heard Skyzoo. I would probably say like Dreams in the Basement or Music from My Friends, or like I said, even the Great Debaters mixtape, or even the JJ versus Theo mixtape. Like those will probably be better entry points if you've never heard his music. I think this would be more so for like if you're a fan of Skyzoo already, you'll enjoy Peddler themes. If you haven't heard Skyzoo before, you probably want to check out previous works to just kind of get used to him, get used to what he's about, and then maybe check out Peddler themes later. But either way, it's still a solid EP. Like I said, it didn't blow me away. There wasn't too much that stood out, but the more I listen to it, the more I do find myself enjoying it. Like I said, I do go back to tracks like Finesse Everything. That's a dope track. I'll go back and listen to For Real. I'll go back to listen to Let It Fly. So like I said, there's definitely some gems on this project, and it's solid New York hip hop from a very great lyricist, one of the most consistent artists. I've never listened really to a Skyzoo project and not liked it. So he's definitely, man, he's a great rep for New York hip hop, great rep for East Coast hip hop, great rep for hip hop in general. So yeah, man, if you want good lyricists over some boom bap beats. Listen to Peddler themes. And yeah, pretty much all I got for today. Is quick recap, man. Azura EP from Cunninlynguists. Give them dudes a listen. 3-track EP of fire. Sounds of Crenshaw Volume 1 from Terrace Martin presents the Pollyseeds. Terrace Martin, Kamasi Washington, Robert Glasper, Chachi, Rose Gold. Great instrumental performances, great production, very well put together, very layered, everything perfect. Just, I don't know what to say. I could go on and on about that album. Really just great jazz, soul music, man. Just just flawless music, man. Awesome album. Highly recommend that you guys check that out. And Skyzoo Peddler themes, like I said, man, solid EP, good New York hip hop. Give Skyzoo a listen, man. Definitely a good lyricist to check out. And yeah, man, that about wraps it up. Just quick notes and nuggets before I leave. I'll probably mention this at the end of every podcast, but I'm trying to get us on iTunes. So I submitted my podcast to iTunes probably about a week ago, so I'm still waiting to hear back from them. So hopefully we can get on iTunes, and I'd appreciate if you guys can give me some. You don't even gotta give me 5 stars. You can give me 4. I'll take 4 and be happy. But yeah, I'm trying to get on iTunes. I'm probably thinking about putting this on Google Play. I'm just trying to figure out ways to expand my audience. Like I said, man, I cover hip hop. I cover MMA with the Anti-Cool. I cover cover anime here and there. I'll cover movies here and there. So if you like indie hip hop, if you like MMA, like this podcast, share it with another friend who, even if you don't like MMA, if you just like indie hip hop, you can just check me out for that, and you can lead the MMA to someone else. But if you're interested in any of those topics, give me a listen. I definitely appreciate the support. Appreciate any likes, any retweets, any shares I can get. Like I said, I'm trying to get on iTunes, trying to get on Google Play, but as for now, as always, I'm on YouTube. So you can just type in Dojo Talk Podcast on YouTube. You can find me. You can type in Dojo Talk Podcast on SoundCloud. You can find me. I'm on there. If you want to follow me personally, I'm at Serial Sensei on Twitter. And I post all of my podcasts on there also, so you can catch me there. And we got the Facebook group, Dojo Talk Podcast. You can just go to Facebook, type in Dojo Talk Podcast, hit the like button. You have little discussions on there. I'll post songs or ask people what they thought about certain fights that just happened. So just trying to build a fan base, solid fan base. I don't need to be famous. If I could get a solid 100, 200 listens an episode, I'd be happy with that. So, I'm just trying to build, man. But definitely keeping the content coming. I know it's a break in terms of MMA within this next month between every combat sport. There aren't really any notable fights happening probably until mid, or not even mid, probably late August. So, but I'll be having more albums I want to listen to. I want to check out that Marlon Craft project. There's a couple of projects on my radar, but yeah, Marlon Craft definitely up there. I definitely want to give that a listen. And I'll always got my ears to the internets, and I'll always be finding stuff to listen to and spend money on because I'm a music junkie. But so yeah, man, music podcasts always coming. MMA podcasts definitely always coming because combat sports always gives me something to talk about. So yeah, man, I'm working, man. I'm trying to put out content, trying to build a fan base. So help a man out, man. Help your boy. Give me a like, give me a share, something. But for people who are listening, for the few listens I do get, man, really appreciate it. I appreciate you guys for listening. I'm 30 plus episodes deep, still trying to figure out the whole podcast game, but we're making it work, man. I have fun doing this. I don't get a lot of views, but I do it because I love to do it. I love MMA, I love music, I love anime, all that nice nerd stuff, so that's why I'm here. But I've been rambling for almost an hour now, so I'm gonna shut up and go enjoy the rest of my Sunday, man. I got today and tomorrow off, so I'm gonna go need to go to Walmart, deal with Walmart people, but that's another story. But anywho, this has been another episode of the Dojo Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Serial Sensei. Until next time, man, you guys be easy. Peace.